I was originally going to wait like a month to do this, but after about 200 hours, I kind of feel like I can finally give you my proper thoughts with Starfield. When I first made my Starfield review, I had only put about 130 hours into the game, and yes, that's a lot of hours, but considering the size of Starfield and just the scope of it, really, that's honestly not a lot. And honestly, there were still a ton of things that I was still getting used to and things to explore, and I did say in that video that at some point in the future I wanted to give my extended thoughts after even more time with the game, because the game is absolutely massive like I just said, and even after 200 hours now there are still things I haven't done, but I definitely have a better sense for the game. So today I just want to give my extended thoughts on Starfield, and there will be some spoilers in this video just to let you all know, but I will let you know when I'm about to talk about spoilers just so then you're prepared. We are openly talking about the game here, and these are my final thoughts, so let's just get into it. Alright, so first things first, you all know that I admit when I was wrong. I want to take back absolutely everything I said about exploration in my review. I did say in that review that the exploration sucks, but after now getting used to it, I actually think it's really good. It's still not as good as usual Bethesda games are though. For example, I've noticed a lot of the time most buildings are just exactly the same. Like, you'll get a quest to go and defeat some Crimson Fleet pirate for a bounty, do that and that's fine, but then you go and do another quest to take out a bounty on, say, a House Faroon guy, and you could wind up at a location that has the exact same layout as the place you were just at, defeating a different bounty. I needed easy credits just a couple of days ago. I did a ton of bounty missions just back to back and actually wound up at a location that looked exactly the same 3 times in a row, which is just ridiculous. So while I do very much enjoy the exploration now that I've gotten used to it, it's still nowhere near as good as Skyrim or Fallout 4 or even Fallout 3 and Oblivion, to be honest. But I don't think it sucks anymore, so I just want to throw that out there. I also very heavily criticise the outpost and the shipbuilding, and while I do think shipbuilding is better now, I still think it's way too restricted. Like, my thoughts on that part haven't changed. For example, you'll add an engine and then it tells you that you need to add new landing gears, which really messes up your build, but obviously you have to add them, the game forces you to, otherwise you can't have the ship. And then if you add the landing gear, the game then tells you that you need to add more engines to improve mobility, and then you add new engines, and then you need more landing gears, and it keeps doing just stupid shit like that. Like, you can't win with it. It's really difficult to make unique and cool looking ships, but I am definitely enjoying the shipbuilder more than I previously was. I've built the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy, as you've all probably seen in my gameplay footage the last few days, and also a ship of my own design called the Cabane. Now, Outpost I still just outright hate, to be honest with you all. Really, that just goes for the entire decorating system, and it pretty much just comes down to resources and storage. I enjoy collecting resources in Bethesda games. I really enjoyed it in Fallout 4, and I know that sounds stupid, but I did. And the issue rises when you can't store them anywhere. The only unlimited storage containers in the entire game are both in the lodge and don't connect to any of your outposts, player homes, or even workbenches in the lodge itself. It's really stupid. Basically, if you want to build an outpost or even just decorate your home, you need to gather all of your resources, which just makes you over encumbered, which means you can't run anywhere, and then you struggle to move. And you've got to do that and drag all of your resources over to your home or outpost, and it's just a really shitty design, and I honestly just hope that Bethesda change this as soon as possible. Like, it's because of the storage system alone that I haven't built any outposts on my main playthrough, or bothered decorating any of the homes that I've bought or unlocked. Now, during my review copy playtime, I was trying to figure out how to build outposts properly, and that's basically all I did with my review copy. I built a ton of them and eventually just came to the conclusion that, yeah, outpost building sucks because of the storage shit. Especially in comparison to Fallout 4's settlement mode, which was awesome in my opinion, although still definitely needed work. And just to touch on the main story now, and this is of course where we're going to get into some spoiler stuff by the way, so if you want to skip forward or turn the video off, go ahead. The main story is honestly the best main quest Bethesda have ever made in my opinion. It's clearly very thought out and I like it a lot. I still don't love it, but I really, really like it. The sense of discovery, urgency, and even heartbreak that this game gives is actually a little shocking to me. I never thought that Bethesda would make a story that really captured me like this. And that's fine as long as I still somewhat enjoy the story. I didn't need it to be super good or captivating, but Starfield's main story was just that, super good and super captivating. I was honestly just utterly shocked when a main character died. I actually decided to stay at the lodge and defend it, and Sarah died because she was at the eye. Of course, I immediately reloaded my save and went back and saved Sarah, thanks to my right hand man Mr. Hobo Robo for telling me to make a hard save as soon as I get that quest. But then I returned to the lodge and Barrett had died, so either way I just couldn't win, but I absolutely loved that. Now look, I will say I'm not a huge fan of the whole multiverse thing, although in real life I do love that theory, but I would have much preferred the story of Starfield to leave to the discovery of intelligent alien life, or have the Unity be a god, or maybe you discover which one of Starfield's gods is, real, or maybe they all are, But I still did really like the main quest. It's easily my favourite Bethesda quest ever. Now I do appreciate the new game plus, even though I do think it's kind of whack to be honest with you. I think we should get to keep all of our gear, credits, ships, and re-choose our traits and backgrounds, but besides that, it is a very fun way to restart the game. I just think it would have had a lot more going for it if we could actually design our character for that new world. I did take my main character into New Game Plus just because that way I could save everyone in Constellation. Yes, that is the only reason I did it, but I was pretty bummed out that I couldn't choose another trait or redo my traits and backgrounds and all of that. Going into combat, which is what you've all mostly been looking at, I do love the combat. Starfield is easily Bethesda's best combat, taking the #1 spot from Fallout 4 of course, although the melee is still not great, at all. I have zero desire to make a melee only character, although I'm sure I will at some point in the next 15 years when we're waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6, but Starfield's overall combat is super fun, especially when you master the boost pack training and gymnastic skill to let you fly around and combat slide. I am really curious about Elder Scrolls 6's combat coming off of this, because it would just feel pretty lame to go from Starfield's amazing feeling combat, even on 30 FPS on my console, to another /heavy/repeat, maybe shoot a bow style like Skyrim's. Now in my initial review I did say that there was basically zero reason for manual spaceflight, and I got a lot of shit for that, and I still stand by what I said. And look, you can give me hate all you want for that. My job is to be honest with you guys. While I enjoy getting into dogfights, that's all there really is to say about it. Most of the time you're fast travelling from planet to planet or you're walking around on foot, so honestly it might as well have just been an animation. That's just how I'm feeling. I enjoy it, it feels good, it feels great flying around and again getting into dogfights, but there's not enough to do in space to justify having manually flyable spaceships in my honest opinion. One thing I am super impressed by is the animations of NPCs and also just the overall dialogue. I think Starfield's dialogue is really great, it fits so well into the world and so well with the facial animations that come along with it. The NPCs don't feel like they have no emotion like that of Skyrim, they actually will react to things you say and do, and not just in dialogue tone, like if you piss someone off enough they'll frown at you and clearly seem more aggressive or upset. And it's just small things like that, but every so often, even after the 200 hours, I'm still quite taken back at how well the facial animations were done, and I'm actually really shocked that there isn't more people talking about this. One thing I was fairly, not disappointed by necessarily, but just sort of bummed out by, I guess, is the Crimson Fleet questline. I did side with the United Colonies, and I really enjoyed the overall questline, but you're pretty much forced to work against the Crimson Fleet. So if you ever want to make an evil pirate build, you're still going to be working for them, at least until the very last mission, when you can decide who to side with. And it just really sucks. I don't understand why there isn't another way to join the Crimson Fleet without going through the United Colonies stuff, but oh well, I guess. And I should point out and note, I haven't actually ever sided with the Crimson Fleet, so there might be a way around it, but that's just sort of how I've viewed it so far. One other thing's very much a nitpick is the photo mode. To me, it's just really limiting, and most of the frames suck, as do the poses. I really hope that Bethesda adds more poses, and eventually facial poses too, and also the ability to choose what gear you're wearing while in photo mode, just, out of all of the gear that you found, or at least have on you or something. Oh, and also I'd really like to choose poses for my companions, especially if I'm romanced or if I'm married to one. It'd be nice to just have like a hug pose or something along those lines. Again, small nitpick, doesn't affect the game at all, so I know, who cares, it's just something I'd really love to see in the future. But look, my biggest complaint right now is the storage issue, 100%. I don't know if anyone else even agrees with me, because I've mentioned it on Twitter and even posted it on Reddit and never got much of a response. I know that my boy Lone Vault Wanderer agrees with me though, but yeah, the storage system is honestly my biggest complaint right now. Homes and outposts need unlimited storage, otherwise I'm just never going to bother with them until modders come through and add it. I'm not dragging thousands of resources and taking damage every single time I move just to build. We need unlimited storage in homes at the very least. Just a little storage container on the wall like we have on our ships, but unlimited. You put all of the storage in there and it connects to everything in the house, your workbenches, your decorating, just like it does in Fallout 4, and even Fallout 76. It's actually quite shocking to me how fucking backwards they got this. But anyway, that is pretty much it. That's my extended thoughts / final verdict, whatever you want to call it, on Starfield. This is currently my game of the year. The only thing I see possibly beating it out is Spider-Man 2, but that is going to be very, very hard, so we'll see. I heavily recommend this game to anyone wondering, although I think Starfield is my least favourite Bethesda franchise right now. I'd order it best to last, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, then Starfield, but that's not a negative thing, that's just my order, and I have a lot of love for Fallout especially, and Elder Scrolls. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do drop it a like before you go, and consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date on Starfield discussions, news, breakdowns, tips and tricks, and all of that, and plenty of other Bethesda and single player related content. Lastly, as always, a huge, massive thank you to all of our channel members. Your support means the world, so thank you so much for being here and supporting me month after month. But with that all said and done, I thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.